Hello everyone, I'm Dinesh. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to highlight something really useful when it comes to data ingestion, the Fabric copy job. Some parts of it are still in preview, but the good news is you can already start using it. Now I still remember whenever we plan a data warehouse or data integration project, we always had to block a big chunk of time just for ETL. Why? Because it's not just about moving data. We had to configure source settings of the destination and do all the column mappings. What else? Handle deltas. That's the complex part, and then manage inserts, update it. It was a lot, and naturally this was something only a data engineer would take on, not a business user. But you know that things are changing with platforms like Microsoft Fabric. It's becoming easier and more accessible. So even a business user who doesn't write codes, but let's say understand data, can just create storage, connect with the source, and then start bringing data. Not just that, even keep the data updated over time. And that's where copy job really shines. It extends Fabric's power and makes building an ETL solution is super simple. So no code needed. All right. So let me quickly walk you through what copy job is, and then let me show you how we can really use copy job for getting data from a database like Azure SQL database or storage account like Azure Data Lake Gen 2. All right. Okay, where do we see the usage of copy job Fabric item? So let's talk about a Fabric solution. Let's say you're creating an analytical store using Microsoft Fabric. So first thing you have to do is bring data from sources. What's the main component we use? Pipeline. Okay, in certain cases we use data flows, notebooks as well, but most of the time we use Fabric pipelines for connecting with the source and bringing data to Fabric destinations. It could be a lakehouse, warehouse, or KQL database. Okay, so generally that will be done by a data engineer or software engineer. We never expect this to be done by a business user. The reason is configuring a pipeline is not that easy, right? Even though it can be configured using all the GUIs given, business user might struggle a bit. But when it's come to copy job Fabric item, this is not just for a data engineer. This can be easily used by business users. Okay, so this simply allows you to connect with the source and then configure the destination. And if you want to get the data set continuously updated, you can configure the schedule. That's all. You don't need to write codes. So that's why I'm saying that this can be even done by a business user. So no code data ingestion. You can simply use Fabric copy job for configuring the ETL solution, connect with the source, bring the data to destination. But remember, you cannot perform any transformations in between. Okay. And the good thing with copy job is you are going to see almost all connectors you have seen with pipelines. Okay, so 100 plus data connectors. You can connect with most common data sources, and you can configure destinations. Again with these connectors, right? And once everything is configured, you can schedule it. That's how it goes. When it's come to loading the destination, you can decide the loading type. Are you going to load the whole thing? That's going to be considered as full load, or you want to get this destination continuously updated. So we have to configure data loading as incremental loading. Okay, so for incremental loading, you need to make sure that you have a column. For example, if you're getting a data from a database, you need to make sure that you have a column in that database table that can be used for identifying new records or change records. Okay, or else you will not be able to configure incremental loading. Right? Generally, it should be either an integer column or date time column. You cannot use all data types or any other columns that have been configured with different data types for incremental loading. Okay, but when it's come to writing, you can decide how the destinations to be or how the records have to be written to the destination. Okay, you can simply say, okay, get the new data set, append it. All right, that's one way. Or else you can say, no, overwrite the whole thing. I want to get the entire data set overwritten. That is also possible. You can configure merge operation, but remember, In order to see the merge operation, you have to make a request for private preview. Okay. Even though Fabric copy job is generally available, certain parts of it are still in preview. So if you really want to see, merge operation support, then you have to make a request for private preview and then, make it available in your Fabric environment. Just check in the, the comment section. I have added the URL for private preview form. Okay. So you can fill it and submit. All right. But remember, you're going to see the facility for merge operation as well. But when it's come to my demo, I'm not going to show the merge part, but I'll be showing the incremental load with my destinations. All right. In addition to that, monitoring is there. I'm sure that you have used monitoring page, which is available in your Fabric workspace. So you're going to see all, job executions related to your copy jobs in this monitoring page, and then you will be able to see the stats as well. Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the way of configuring copy job for Data Lake Gen 2. Okay. I'm going to show you a container that contains a set of CSV files, and then we'll configure the copy job against this container. We'll bring all these files as a part of the initial job execution, and let's see whether incremental loads pick new files. Okay. So that's going to be one of my demos. And the second demo is on Azure SQL DB. So I have a data table that contains millions of records. Okay. So let's connect with that table and configure copy job. And then let's see whether it can bring all records with the initial load. And then it can detect new changes and bring, changes to the destination. Okay. I'm going to use Lakehouse as the destination for both. I'll be using Lakehouse folders for data lake storage. I'll be using data tables for Azure SQL DB. Okay, this is the workspace I'm going to use. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Lakehouse. Let me take the Lakehouse tile and then say Lakehouse. This is my 101. Okay, so this is the Lakehouse I'm going to create. All right, done. And I'm going to create a folder inside files. Let me click on subfolder. Let me say sales. Okay, this is the folder I'm going to use for holding files coming from my storage account. Okay, and then I'll be creating a data table later as a part of my SQL DB related demo. All right, so now we have a Lakehouse and I have a folder called sales in my Lakehouse. Let's go back to the workspace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a copy job and then connect with my storage account. So let me show you my storage account. So this is a storage account I'm going to access, and this has a container called sales monthly. If I open it, it has a folder called sales, and it has currently 3 files. Okay. So I'm going to configure this folder as the source for my copy job, and then the destination is going to be the Lakehouse sales folder. All right. So let's start with copy job. Let me click on new item. So I can make a search, or else I can see that copy job is the very first tile available in this new item. So I'm going to click on this copy job. Let me like this, and I'm going to say data lake. Okay, so let me name like that. So let me click on create. So you can see it is really, really simple. So it opens a wizard, then I'll be able to select the connector. Okay, so what I want is Azure storage. So I'm going to click on view more, click on Azure, then I can see all the Azure storages. So the one I want is Data Lake Gen 2. I'm going to select that. So in order to connect with my container, I need my data source or the data lake URL. Okay. And then I can fill the rest. I'm not going to use a data gateway. Authentication kind, I can use organizational account or account key, or I can generate shared access signature. Okay, generally what I do is I generate a shared access signature because we can configure an expiry date for that. Okay, or else we can use something like service principal or workspace identity as well. Okay, so this time I'm going to use shared access signature, but anyway, I have connected to this container before. So my connection has been already created and then stored with my workspace or the Fabric account. So I'm sure that it will pick the connection I have already created. But if you're going to create a new one, all you have to do is get the URL first. Let me show you how to get the URL. So let me go back to my data lake. If I scroll down under settings, you can see endpoints, click on endpoints, and then you can see data lake storage URL. So you have to pick this one, the one with DFS. Click on that, you can get it copied, and then come back to this, paste, and then this is the URL for the entire storage, but you'll be accessing a specific container. So I'm going to type the container name as sales monthly. Okay, so that's the name. Let me go back and click on containers. See, sales monthly. This is what I'm going to access. So if I go back, I just type sales month. Okay, spelling mistake. Right. So when I type sales monthly, you can see that the connection is already available. So it picks the connection from my connection pool. So I don't want to enter it again or configure it again. Right. So I have configured it with shared access signature just to make sure that you know how to configure the shared access signature. You go into a container. Okay. So when you are in the container, you can see shared access token. You click on it, and then you can get a new one created. So you can set the configuration, set the expiry date. Okay. And then if you click on this generate SaaS token and URL button, you'll be seeing the token. That's what you have to copy and paste. Okay. Since it has been already configured, I don't want to do it again. So I'm going to connect with my data lake. So I should see my folders and the files. All right, so you might see a message like this. It basically says it cannot connect with the right folder. So I'm going to type it again, sales monthly. Okay, that's the container, and then slash sales, that's the folder. Okay, click on retry. It has found the folder, so I can see my sales folder. I can see 3 files. I'm not going to, like, for example, if I click on a file, then the copy job will be created only for these files. But what I want is get the copy job created for the folder. So I'm going to click on the folder. Okay. And then, I don't want to go through the structure, the format of the file. I'm going to simply say binary copy is okay for this job, right? So basically what I want is get these files copied into my Lakehouse, right? So I'm going to click on next, right? Destination. So my destination is going to be the Lakehouse we just created. This is what we just created. Okay, Lakehouse 2101. Let me select it. I can see 2 options, files and tables. I'm going to select files. With my next demo, we'll select tables. Right. What should be the destination folder? Let me click on browse. I can see sales folder. I can click on it and then click on OK for selecting the sales folder. Done. All right. File name, it says file names are defined by source, all good. You can see drop down call copy behavior. If you expand it, you can see flatten hierarchy, preserve hierarchy. If you want to get the same hierarchy available in the data lake into your lake house, it's better to select preserve hierarchy. If you select flatten hierarchy, it is not going to simply have the same folder structure. You're not going to see the same file names as well. But if you select preserve hierarchy, you'll be seeing same folders, same file names. Okay, right. Let me click on next. Right, this is where you decide whether you are going to get the whole thing from the data lake and then save it in Lakehouse, job done, or you want to continuously access this data lake and see whether new files are there. If there are new files, get those new files into the Lakehouse. Okay, so I'm going to configure incremental copy. Okay, you can see it is preview. All right, I'm going to click on next. And generally that's all you have to do in terms of files. You can see a checkbox called start data transfer immediately. And then you can configure the job, right? You are going to see something called stream as well, but not immediately. I believe that when you sign up for private preview, you'll be seeing an option for streaming as well. Okay, but currently you don't see it, right? So you can see scheduling option, run once, run on schedule. So it says every 15 minutes. I'm okay with this. Times on, has it picked the right one? Select this, okay, right? And I'm going to click on save plus run. Let's see whether it works. So this is what you're going to see with the copy job. It's very similar to pipeline. So you can see a canvas, okay, and you can see the source and the destination. Now it is been executed, right? So you can see it's queued, and then after some times you'll be seeing in progress and then completed. Okay, so let's wait for a few seconds or 1 or 2 minutes and see whether we are going to see all our files. All right, this is completed. Let's go back to the workspace. Let's open the Lakehouse. Let me open it in a different tab. Let's go to sales folder and see. I can see 3 files. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more file to my container, and let's see whether copy job picks that file as a part of the next execution and then bring that file into this lakehouse. Okay, let me go to my container and let me open the folder. I'm going to click on upload. So let me drag a new file. Okay, I'm going to add this file. Now I have a new file to 2016-02. That's the file I just uploaded. So after 15 minutes, we should see this file in my Lakehouse folder. In the meantime, let's go to workspace and then click on monitor. So if I click on monitor, I should see my job. So you can see my job. You can see this is the initial one. It has taken somewhere around 36 seconds for getting those 3 files into my Lakehouse folder. So no errors. I should be able to click on this and see more details. Okay, it's basically, you can see it says 3 files have been read and 3 files have been written. This is the size. So likewise, you can see, details of your job if you go to monitor and open the job. Okay, right. So let's wait and see. Okay, I can see copy job again, but the status is not started. All right. Let me click on refresh. It is still not started, but I'm sure that it's been running. Let me click on the Lakehouse and then let's refresh this. I can see new file has been added. Okay. If I go back to the monitoring and refresh, I should see that it is succeeded, but still the job has not been refreshed. But after a few seconds, we'll be seeing succeeded for this new job. All right, so this is how you configure a copy job for Azure Data Lake. Okay, so you can simply get the files in your data lake into your lakehouse. Now let's check on Azure SQL DB. All right, I'm going to use an Azure SQL database called Sales Supermarket 2S. This is the database I'm going to use. This has multiple tables. So there's a table called order, which has somewhere around 90 million records. So we are going to pick that table as one of the tables. Let's take 2 tables, okay? So order table, and then let's take something like product or customer. All right. Let me quickly open Management Studio and show you. So this order table has somewhere around 94 million records. And these are the records available in order table. We don't need to worry about these columns, but this is the record set. Okay, so this has some around 94 million records. All right, let me go back to my Fabric workspace and then let's create a copy job. So I'm going to click on new item and copy job. Let me name this as let's say Azure SQL DB. Create. So I'll be seeing the same source interface. Okay, so I can see Azure SQL database style here, so I don't want to click on view more. So I'm going to click on this, and all I need is a server name and the database name. Let me go here and then save or click on this server name to get it copied. Come back and save. I'm going to do the same for database name. Let me copy this database name. Go back, and if I paste my database name, it will pick an existing connection from my connection pool, because I have connected to this database before. So Fabric has all Fabric has those credentials saved. So in your case, let's say you are going to connect with the database and this is the first time, then all you have to do is set the server name and the database name. And if you're going to use SQL authentication, username and password, that's SQL username and password. But if you want to use AD account, you can use organizational account or service principal. Okay, these are the options available for connecting with your database. Right, let me set the database name. So it has picked the credentials available from my Fabric account. Okay, so I'm going to click on next. So if it can connect with the credentials saved, I should see table names. Right, all tables can be seen. So I'm going to select customer and order. Okay, so customer table, if I'm not mistaken, it has something like 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000 records. But when it's come to order, you have already seen it has somewhere around 94 million records. So let me click on next. So my destination is going to be the same lake house. I'm going to select same lake house. I can see two options, files, tables. So this is going to be tables. I'm going to get these two tables loaded into data tables. If I click on edit update method, you can see two options, append and overwrite. But if you have signed up for the private preview, you must see merge button as well. In my case, I don't see it. Okay. If you have signed up for private preview, you'll be seeing merge. All right. Okay. So I'm not going to make any changes. What I want is append, and source and the destination. I'm going to configure my destination table as customer with all in lowercase, and same for order table as well. I don't want to click on edit column mappings because these two tables, customer and order tables, are not exist in my lakehouse. So those two tables will be created as a part of the initial loading. Okay, right. I should be able to click on next and continue. Okay, I have two options, full copy and done, or incremental copy. So if I select full copy, this job will be executed. Records will be transferred from my Azure SQL DB to Delta tables. Your copy job is completed. But what I want is basically if I add more records to my customer table or order table, I should see those records in my Delta tables as well. So I'm going to enable or select incremental copy. So when I select incremental copy, it asks what is the incremental column for customer table and order table. So as I mentioned before, you have to pick a column with the data type like integer or date time. For customer, I don't have anything like modified date, so I'm going to select customer ID. So it will check customer ID and then figure it out, what are the new records or the modified records. But when it's come to order table, I have the modified date. Okay, so all my new records will have a new modified date. And if the record has been changed, if an existing record has been changed, then the modified date will be changed. So copy job can simply pick new records and change record as well, right? So currently we have no way of picking deleted records, but once the merge operation is available, I believe that we can handle delete operation as well. So order table, I selected modified date column and then click on next. That's all. This is a schedule. So you can see it has been set for 15 minutes, but I'm going to set this for something like 20 minutes because in order to load 94 million records as a part of the initial load, it will take 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, right. Let me change this to this and then all good. I'm going to click on save and run. So this will start the job. It will start loading customer records and order records. Within a couple of seconds, we'll be able to see customer records. But in order to see order records, we have to wait for few minutes, 10-15 minutes for sure. Okay, now you can see that job is completed. Both customer table and order tables have been loaded. Let's go to Lakehouse and see. I have to refresh tables node as well. Okay, so I can see customer and order delta tables. If I click on customer table, I should be able to see records, but it's always better to open SQL endpoint and then query these two tables and see whether records are exist. Okay, so let's have a look on customer table first, and then let's go for Lakehouse SQL endpoint and then query the order table. All right, we can see records. Let me click on SQL endpoint, expand the schema, and let's expand tables and see. Right, we can see customer and order. Let me click on new query. Let's write a code like this. Just to see a few records, let me say, give me top 10 records from order table. Let's have a look on the last 10 records. So let me add order by based on order ID. So basically last date should be February 1st records. So let's see. Yeah, so we can see all the records. You can see order date is 2025 February 1st. Okay, let's check the count as well. So we can see 94 million records. All right. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some records. So I'm going to execute this stored procedure. This will add new orders with the order date of 2nd February. Okay, so let me execute this and see. So once new records are added, we can go to the Lakehouse and see. But again, in order to get the new records into the Lakehouse, this copy job must be executed again. So we have scheduled it. So next execution will add all these new records to the Lakehouse Delta tables. In the meantime, let's have a look on the monitor page. So as you see, the initial job has taken somewhere around 15 minutes. Okay. And then after that, you can see another execution on the same job, which has taken somewhere around 1 minute, but it had no new records or no change records. So with the next execution, we'll be able to see all the new records added. So let's wait and see. Okay, I can see a new record in my monitor. So let's go to our SQL endpoint and see. I still do not see new records, but let me refresh my SQL endpoint. Okay, let me run it again. All right, now I can see new records. You can see order date. So order date is February 2nd. So which means new records have been taken from my Azure SQL DB to Lakehouse data table. So if we check the record count, you can see it has been increased now 94,800,000. Okay. All right. So if I go back to the monitor and then refresh, I should be able to see the status as succeeded. Yes, I can see. So it has just taken 1 minute and 45 seconds. So which means it works well. All right, demonstrations are done. So I showed you the way of configuring copy job for Azure SQL DB and Data Lake Gen 2. So you can see, how easily we can configure copy job for bringing data from sources to Fabric or any destination. So anyone can simply configure it. You don't need to write codes. Okay. So if possible, apply for private preview and then you should be able to see all other functionalities. So you can try and see. So if you have any question, feel free to add a comment and feel free to share your experience with this as well. Okay. All right. That's all from my end. Thank you for watching.